News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moskow.
And Karen, oil is trading at near a 6-month high this morning on concerns the U.S. is moving closer to a war with Iran. The military buildup continues in the Middle East, and President Trump says Iran has days to agree to a deal over its nuclear program.
Now we may have to take it a step further, or we may not. Maybe we're going to make a deal. Well, you're going to be finding out over the next probably 10 days.
The U.S. now has more forces in the Middle East than at any point since the Iraq War.
As far as his domestic agenda, Nathan, President Trump is declaring victory in the fight over cost of living concerns. He paid a visit yesterday to the crucial battleground state of Georgia.
What word have you not heard over the last 2 weeks? Affordability. Because I've won. I've won affordability.
This signals a new approach by the president. He denied problems with his economic agenda while touting stock market gains to insist that his tariff plans have been a success.
Turning to the UK now, Karen, former Prince Andrew has been released after he was detained on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Let's go to London and get the very latest from Bloomberg's Tiwa Adebayo. Good morning, Tiwa.
Good morning, Nathan and Karen. Well, the fallout is continuing here in the UK after the unprecedented arrest of former Prince Andrew Mountbatton-Windsor yesterday. The latest is that he has now been released from police custody under investigation. That was yesterday evening. Thames Valley Police confirming the release of a man in his 60s in Norfolk, not naming him as is per the national guidance here in the UK. This arrest coming, of course, after revelations about Mr. Mountbatton-Windsor's ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He has denied all wrongdoing in relation to Epstein. Just in terms of the latest from the rest of the royal family, whilst this news was breaking yesterday, the King was taking part in a public engagement at London Fashion Week. He also released an official statement in which he said the law must take its course. In London, Tiwa Adebayo, Bloomberg Radio.
All right, Tiwa, thank you. There is more fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein case right here in the U.S. The late sex offender's estate has agreed to pay up to $35 million to resolve all outstanding legal claims from women who have not already reached settlements. This proposed settlement covers at least 40 women who say they were sexually abused or trafficked by Epstein between 1995 and August 10th, 2019, the day he was found dead in his jail cell. Their lawsuit was originally filed in 2024 against the Epstein estate's two co-executors, his longtime lawyer Darren Indyke and accountant Richard Kahn. Both men have not been accused of abusing women or witnessing abuse. They've denied all liability to Epstein's victims and agreed to the settlement terms without admitting fault. A federal judge still has to approve the deal.
Karen, let's turn now to the latest in the search for Nancy Guthrie. Tomorrow will be 3 weeks since the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie was seen at her home near Tucson. The FBI has received more than 20,000 tips, and Pima County Sheriff Chris Nano says every lead helps.
When those tips dry up, this case goes cold. We believe somebody out there knows who did this. We need that person to call us.
Pima County Sheriff Chris Nano spoke to the ABC station in Tucson. He says DNA evidence found at Guthrie's home is still going through lab analysis, and several hundred personnel from multiple law enforcement agencies are assigned to the case. Investigators have also identified an Ozark brand backpack the suspect was seen wearing in surveillance footage. They're working to determine where he bought other items. The FBI reward for information that leads to Nancy Guthrie's return is up to $100,000.
Let's turn to the markets now, Nathan, and futures are higher as we close out the trading week. And company news, Netflix said its proposed acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery will lead to more films in movie theaters. This addresses a key concern from Hollywood. In an interview with Bloomberg, Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos says he is highly confident he will win the battle against Paramount Skydance for Warner Brothers.
I think in the alternative, East Sky has gone missed every deadline. They've been taking 9 runs at this bid, and they just won't accept this outcome.
And Netflix's Ted Sarandos made the comments earlier in an interview with Bloomberg. And you can catch that interview as well as live streaming news, all our Bloomberg TV shows, documentaries, and more, all in one place at Bloomberg.com/videos.
It's a busy day on the economy, Karen. To close out the trading week this morning, investors get some key reports to digest. We have a preview from Bloomberg's Michael McKee.
Extraordinary early projections have come down, but the final Atlanta Fed GDP Now calculation is the economy expanded at a still very healthy 3% in the fourth quarter, much of that powered by construction of AI data centers around the country. The data are a month late, delayed by the government shutdown, but they will cheer a White House anxious for some good economic news. What will really matter to markets, however, will be the December income and spending numbers released for the first time on the same day as GDP. The GDP calculations fell as the fourth quarter went on, so investors will be very interested in whether consumers cut back during the month. The Fed, meanwhile, will be looking at the December PCE price indexes. While consumer price growth slowed last month, PCE is forecast to come in a bit higher for the core. That and stronger GDP growth would make it harder for the Fed to consider rate cuts anytime soon. Michael McKee, Bloomberg Radio.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moskow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.